All right, so we are approaching a little bit over 100 days of the Switch 2 coming out, from launch day. And there's been some good reviews and some bad reviews. Mostly positive though, but there's video going around from a guy named Nintendo Dean, basically talking about Nintendo Switch 2 buyer's remorse is very real. Now, I had to ask myself, do I have buyer's remorse from buying the Switch 2? Me personally, no, I don't. I don't think now that I think about it, I don't think I have buyer's remorse from any console that I bought. But it is very legitimate though, what he's talking about, and just where people spend their money at these days as far as like getting value. So I'm going to be devil's advocate and basically speak on why some of the things he's saying is valid and some of the things that aren't valid. For number one, for the price that we paid for this console, it's a Nintendo Switch 2. Most people spent about $450, close to $500, or a little bit over $500 for the Mario Kart World bundle, to either get just the base model or the Mario Kart World bundle that comes with the Switch 2. I like Mario Kart World, but I gotta keep it all the way a bean. Can I keep it a bean with y'all? Mario Kart World has gotten boring. It's gotten boring. And it's a very good game. I still play it. Like, I go back and play it though, but we need more content for it. And I understand people gonna be saying, but it just came out and stuff. But you gotta understand, we live in a TikTok generation. You know what that means? Let me explain to you. People's attention span goes by real quick. Just like TikTok videos, be about 60 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds, they swipe. Same thing when it comes to buying products, video games, merchandise. People get bored real quick. And I feel whenever I'm playing Mario Kart World, it's fun, but I can't see myself playing it for long hours, like a GTA, like a NBA 2K, like even a Madden, and I think a lot of us that did buy the Nintendo Switch 2 basically fell for the FOMO, fear of missing out. But I don't regret buying the Switch 2 though. But what Nintendo Dean is saying is very, very valid, because at the end of the day, speaking for me, when I bought the Nintendo Switch 2, I wanted Nintendo Switch 2 games. He spoke on basically how Nintendo has been doing remasters and older games and stuff that came out like 5, 6 years, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, some 15 years ago, and while that's cool, me personally, I didn't buy the Nintendo Switch 2 for Switch 1 games, for Wii games, for GameCube games. I bought it for new Nintendo Switch 2 games. And I understand, yes, they're probably working on this stuff, and I believe 100% that in about a year, we're going to be loaded or whatever with new Switch 2 games, exclusive Switch 2 console games. Sorry about that. Like a 3D Mario or Luigi's Mansion 2, Smash Brothers, maybe a Snowboard Kids. I'm hoping for that. But right now, I didn't ask for Virtual Boy. Mario Galaxy 2 is a good release though, but again, most of us wanted a new 3D Mario. And to say that all these years that Nintendo was developing this Nintendo Switch 2 that they didn't have the time to have that game ready, like, come on, man. Donkey Kong Bonanza was a smash. Dope game, very dope game. I have Donkey Kong Bonanza, I have Mario Kart World. Donkey Kong Bonanza, after you beat it, or whatnot, and they just released like a DLC pack. It's like $20. Then what? Donkey Kong Bonanza is open world though, but it ain't GTA. Where you just keep playing and find new stuff. I don't know. It's only so much, breaking stuff that you can do. But what Nintendo Dean is saying is very, very valid. So people that's knocking, his opinion or whatever, have to really just sit back and just think. Like, take off your Nintendo fan hat and think about the buyer that actually spent that dollar on it. I'm not talking about me because, I got money. Stop it. But the buyer that saved up their money, that spent their last dollar on this console just to be sitting here playing third-party games. Yes, while third-party games are super dope. So shout outs to Silk, what is it, Silk Song? Ooh, I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, but and you know, other developers and stuff that make stuff, man. We came here for Nintendo Switch 2 games, Switch 2 exclusive games, man. We're still waiting. Like, where's the game that's, again, where is Nintendo's Call of Duty? You know, that's why I still believe that 007 GoldenEye can be Nintendo's Call of Duty. But where's the game that's gonna knock everybody's socks off? Donkey Kong Bonanza is fun, but it's not Mario. It's not a 3D Mario game. It is compared to Mario Odyssey though, but it's not Mario Odyssey 2. It's not Mario Galaxy 3. It's not Luigi's Mansion 4. It's just it's Donkey Kong. And to me, there's so many other games they could have chosen, you know. But again, though, I'll tell you why most people do it. A lot of people, I will say, the 30% of people that do have buyer's remorse, I can tell you why they have buyer's remorse. It's the price. The price is why people have buyer's remorse. Imagine the person that couldn't get the Mario Kart World bundle, so they bought the console and then paid $80 for Mario Kart World. Anybody that's played Mario Kart World that's keeping it real knows that game is boring right now. It's fun, but it's boring. It gets boring and it's easy to put down. Boring doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just boring. So buyer's remorse is a real thing with the Switch 2. Now, me personally, do I have buyer's remorse for my Switch 2? No, absolutely not. You know, because I mean, I feel like you can always find something to play on the Switch 2 though. But like little stuff like YouTube, why isn't YouTube on there? Like why don't we have a 3D Mario game? Why don't we have stuff that people been like, listen to what the fans ask for, man? Like listen, like add Dreamcast on there. A lot of people have been. I think there are people have been asking for the Sega Dreamcast. Throw it on there. If you're going to go like old school games and stuff, throw stuff on there that people are asking for. I repeat, nobody asked for the Virtual Boy. Nobody asked for that, Nintendo. I'm sorry. It's got to be maybe 50 people in this world that was thinking, man, it'd be really dope if they had a Virtual Boy and a headset that's going to cost $100 to even play the Virtual Boy. 50 people total in this whole world. Please show me a forum with over 1,000 people that was asking for the Virtual Boy to be put on the Nintendo Switch 2. I just got to keep it real. If I'm burning a relationship or a bridge to eventually work with Nintendo, please don't do me like Nintendo. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I don't know, man. I got to see exactly what some of the things he was saying. And I'm looking right now as we speak. So he speaks about whenever like the console came out, there was nothing to buy. You go back to the third-party games. Well, again, most people didn't buy the Switch 2 for the third-party games, man. Like most people bought the Switch 2 for the newer games that they're expecting. Again, it is 90 days. I get it, man, but 100 days. But we expect more, and we live in a time. If I'm going to spend $500 plus on a console, man, knock me out my socks. Knock me out my shoes, man. Like, all right. So Donkey Kong Bonanza definitely was a very good game. Hollow Knight Silk Song, $20. Dope. Probably this might end up being game of the year, honestly. Dope game. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I've been seeing mixed reviews on what this game is going to be. I even seen people criticizing the graphics. I still think it's going to be a good game. I'm not really playing sports games on the Switch 2 because, yeah, we know in the day, whatever the Switch 2, I've seen reports, whatever, that Madden doesn't really run that well on the Switch 2. Sports games have to be 60 frames per second. The 30 frames per second and the choppy glitchiness isn't going to cut it. Star Wars Outlaws, heard it runs good on it, but overall heard it wasn't a good game. So Mario Kart World, we already know what that is. Chronos, Kirby Air Riders is crazy because I thought Kirby Air Riders was going to be the best racing game out of all of them, but man, I don't know. It might be looking like it's gonna be Sonic Racing Cross Worlds though. Dragon Drive was a terrible game. Dope idea. I feel like the execution was off. I don't think most people want to have to really work or whatever to play a video game and moving and hurt and basically getting their arms tired. That's a no-go. Super Mario Party Jamboree 2K26 doesn't even have crossplay. That's a no-go. Why have a sports game without crossplay? That's crazy work, because not everybody's going to be playing NBA 2K26 on here or whatever. That's the purpose of NBA 2K26 multiplayer online and stuff like that, is to play at the park or whatever. I can play online stuff too, whatever, but crossplay is something that should be a standard with sports games. Borderlands 4, that's a pretty good game. Now, outside of that, all right, we got Zelda. Oh, no, that's the upgrade pack. Fortnite, that's pretty much everything. Cyberpunk, that's on every console. We're looking for stuff that is Switch 2 exclusive. So Final Fantasy Tactics, I'm not huge on these type of games or whatnot, because I'm cool on that. So all right, Overcooked. See, they have a lot of these games on here that it's like they ported a lot of the Switch games over here, from the shop and stuff, whatever. But again, most people can play a lot of these games on their Switch 1. I think that's people's issue, is like, man, where are the unload us with more Switch 2 games? Like, I don't want to have to depend on Switch 1 games to entertain me, because the Switch 2 games we got only last for so long. Mario Kart World has gotten boring. Still a good game, fun, but gotten boring. Don't come Bananza after you beat it. That's about it. Cyberpunk is on other consoles, so yeah. Finally got a release date, and we're waiting on. Man, I just had it in my head. Metroid Prime, which I'm seeing mixed reviews on it. They're saying the graphics looks outdated, looks like super old or whatnot. So I still think it's gonna be a good game. It's open world though, but the main thing is, or whatever, it's like, for what we paid for this console, they should have unloaded the bus on us. So man, they didn't do it. It's like they copy and pasted everything from the Switch 1 over to the Switch 2, and then added a few Switch 2 games, a handful of Switch 2 games. Like, don't want ports. Like, we didn't buy this for ports from other consoles, because if we wanted ports from other consoles, we would just play the other consoles. That's what I feel like. That's the main point that Nintendo Dean, is that his name? Let me make sure I'm saying his name right. Yep, Nintendo Dean is saying. He's not wrong. A lot of people have it. I don't have buyer's remorse, but there is 70% of people are happy with the Switch 2. There's this 30% of people that feel like that they didn't get their money's worth. And I agree. Had this console been $350, I don't think people would have buyer's remorse. The console being $500 and then not enough Switch 2 games, like the biggest Nintendo Direct, the top game is, I guess, Mario Galaxy. It's like, take that back. Resident Evil is going to be on there, so whatever, that's a W. Mario Tennis, new Mario Tennis is on there. But for the most part, where's 3D Mario? Where's the games that people are going to be super excited about? Like, where's the Smash Brothers? Like, Snowboard Kids, man. Shoot, do a new Jet Set Radio. I'm just saying, man, like, this is the people talking. This is the people talking. We're not just making this stuff up. People aren't just complaining for no reason. Seen IGN do I think it's like a 100-day report card, and I didn't too much see like what their grade was though. But if I graded it from the first 100 days, I would give the Nintendo Switch 2 release about a B-. A B- because there's some good games. There are games that are fun, but there aren't memorable games. It's going to make me say, I have to come back and play this when I go to work or when I get out of school. I don't see any like games that and I'm not even, if we're talking about games that's ported over or getting ported over, that doesn't count. We're talking about Switch 2 exclusive games. When you go over to PlayStation, and you play Spider-Man games, those games are very addictive to play. You can play that over and over and over. I've seen people on TikTok swinging through the city, you know, just swinging around and stuff or whatever, just enjoying themselves and, you know, just doing stuff. Grand Theft Auto it's a game that is so much stuff to do. It's like you're finding you're making up stuff to do, you know? You need addictive games like Call of Duty, as much flack as it gets, the people come back and buy it every year. But the thing about Buyer's Remorse is, my only pushback on Buyer's Remorse is, how can we have Buyer's Remorse if we're going to keep coming back and buying it anyway? It's like Madden. It's like 2K. We can complain that it's the same game every year, but whenever the new one drops, what do? We come back and buy it, you know? But let me know in the comments below, you know, if you own a Switch 2, if you're thinking about getting a Switch 2. This is mainly for the people who have a Switch 2. If you have a Switch 2, do you have Buyer's Remorse? Let me know in the comments, yes or no, and let me know why or why not you have or don't have Buyer's Remorse. And then give me your 100-day Switch 2 report card grade, a grade report basically on the release of it so far though, man. You know, I'm just giving my opinion, my point of view, man. Don't judge me, man. But you already know it's do, man. It's Architect Mr. J with another video. You haven't already hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like, comment, share. Until next time, peace.